Hello, everyone. Welcome to this Zoom session.
Thank
Uh,
you.
as we all are aware, the Zoom session is we're trying to prepare our plan towards our workshop session as team one for the customers we are going to be eliciting or gathering requirements for the HPI Wi-Fi on Wednesday. That's for 3 p.m.
Yes.
So we have the agenda for Wednesday that is scheduled for Wednesday. I would like us to go through it. So
Sure.
if anybody has anything, we can chip in on. So this is like us preparing, and like we met with Professor Lisa, she has been able to clarify some issues we're trying to, or we're deliberating about, and to clarify that. So probably we can go through the agenda and read it one by one to make
Sure.
all of us be on the same page. Should someone read it, or I should go ahead and read it? Should I go ahead and read it, or someone else read them? I'm posting it on the chat now. I just posted it
Yep.
in the chat. Okay. The agenda for the workshop, item 1, we have the welcome/appreciation.
Yeah.
2,
So for
okay,
welcome and appreciation, as per our meeting, our first 5 minutes, as Lisa mentioned, like we would be utilizing it for setting up the tables. So what way of sitting arrangement, like as Lisa said, that you do not want to make it a row, right?
Yeah.
So what is there any good formation coming into your mind apart from face to face? Like this was one of the idea. We can set up a bench where our participants are facing us with some small gaps for us to go in and out if someone is facilitating or someone is doing any other activity. Other than that, I believe if we are using a projector, so we would have to set someone on the far end who can easily reach out to the projector.
What about a U position so that everyone can watch the projector? Like
yeah,
if
that's
you are
very
facing,
important.
So if we are facing each other, let's say our projector will be connected with our laptop, right? So once we know that projector and our laptop is connected, I think most of the work we will be doing in our laptop.
yeah.
So that
Okay,
way
if
that
Nancy is trying to talk
interaction
about
shouldn't be
the
a problem.
sitting position, everybody, all the stakeholders should face the projector
Yeah.
because we're going back and forth
Correct.
with the screen. So we should do a sitting arrangement where maybe we can just do in an oval shape. Well, it doesn't have to be a row, just an oval, a semicircle.
Yes,
Where all of
everything.
them can face or can see the screen at a go.
Given the
Yeah.
fact that they're also going to be with their system, so it should be a table and
Yes.
circle.
And that we would have to wrap up in 5 minutes. So I will recommend we will all try to come up like 5 minutes early, just in case if we can utilize that time to understand what the current state of the classroom is right now. And again, we would be bringing few of the things with us like water bottles, chocolates, a few things Professor Lisa will be providing us. So that way we can arrange our setup accordingly.
Okay, no problem. I think that's fine.
So,
Maybe the
yep.
second item.
That makes our welcome and appreciation starts there. We are recognizing them and we are thanking them that uh, thank you for their availability for that day.
And that part will be done by Derek, right? Derek will start off the session, right?
Yes,
Yes,
and he will introduce us also part of the recognition. He
Okay.
will introduce the team also.
sure.
So I'm doing the first and second.
Yeah.
And the introduction to the workshop object.
Objectives.
Okay, and the introduction to option objectives. Okay. So are we doing like a PowerPoint slide?
It's a good idea. I can make a PowerPoint slide where I can keep a link and a barcode for our activities inside it. I can also put our this agenda on that same slide. and that way
Also,
our
the objectives and outcomes, for everyone to see. Also to help me as the facilitator to keep me in track.
for sure, yeah. From point 4, I think I should take over. That is our first activity, quick icebreaker session using Kahoot. I believe now let's say if we are working in a time frame of 20 minutes, our this activity should conclude in 4 minutes max. So most probably, although we have our PowerPoint presentation ready, I will keep almost all the tabs ready in my laptop, as well as you guys also can keep it as a backup. And if something goes wrong, we can directly switch over and go to that. So this activity should wrap up in 4 to 5 minutes.
It should not take
And
4 minutes though. Like it's just 2 questions, right?
correct.
Yeah,
So yeah,
it should
four
not take
minutes
much time
max.
because it's not like much use.
Yesterday when we tested it among selves, it utilized like 3 minutes, right? It's just that we
So
have to also
it just give 10 seconds, right? For each question, we give 10 seconds. So
correct.
it doesn't take much time. Like it
It
was like
also,
processing. Yeah.
I believe it should also depend on our participants, how quick they are with the technology, what equipment they are using for the Kahoot quiz. So just that's a 1 minute tolerance to set up the activity. So that's four thing covered. Let's say now we are left for more 16 minutes, and that's where our main activity works in. It's also a long activity and it's a feedback loop activity. So uh, that's our sixth Padlet activity, Padlet app for requirements gathering.
You
Now,
skip challenges in the challenges experienced in HPL Wi-Fi stakeholders view. So yeah,
oh yeah.
leaving the floor open for the stakeholders to
Mm-hmm.
tell us the challenges that they've experienced. So how many minutes do you want to give?
So let's say if Padlet activity is taking 3 minutes, then we are sorry, Kahoot activity is taking 3 minutes, then we are left with around 17 minutes. And
Oh,
we
we
want
have
to
the
make
introduction
sure,
part also, like by
yeah.
Derek. We should add.
Would that minutes be account for in our setup time, or setup timing 5 minutes are completely apart from the whole process?
Yeah, from introduction, I think
Our
like
Setup?
time
count.
starts for 20 minutes.
Yes,
So let's say if introduction and recognition is taking 1 minute, I don't believe it should take more than 1 or 1.5 minutes. 1 minute should be good. So from there, let's say breaking it down, we should be reaching to our fifth point on our 5th or 6th minute max, because Kahoot activity is a icebreaker, but our main activity is the Padlet app, where we are requiring most of our, like where we are gathering most of our information. Also, just not to keep it with the activity, we will be also having feedbacks, or we will be also generating questions based on their answers. So that's the main item. So who want to volunteer to conduct activity 6?
what me I'm actually thinking about is the activity 5, because I feel that we might waste time because we can't push the stakeholders to, like, when they are talking about their challenges, we can't push them to like talk fast or say what they're saying fast enough. So
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know how we can structure it in a way that we can control the time that we are going to use in that particular activity. Like maybe we can say, or maybe like one or two people can just talk about like their challenges, or do we leave the floor open to all of them? Because if we leave the
So
floor open to all of them, it will take more time, because before we get to their whole views, like more than 5 minutes, 10 minutes would have been exhausted in that particular activity.
if
What
we
about, yeah,
if we see point 3 and point 5 are bridging themselves. Let's say if we are putting an introduction to our workshop objectives, it is also focused on the fifth point, which is challenges experienced in the HPL Wi-Fi. So we can keep that description minimal. We
No,
can
we're
try
not
to.
describing it. We're not. If you look at activity 5, you can see in brackets stakeholders view. So we're not describing it. They are describing the challenges to us. So
Yeah.
like we are not talking. We're not telling them
Is their feedback? We're asking
it's
for
their
their
feedback. So we are
Yeah.
going to allow them to speak. So that's what I'm saying. We can't control that.
Mhm.
Okay,
We can
you know
structure
what
it
we'll
in a
do?
way.
We know what we'll do with the sticky note here. We'll
Yeah.
place it, we'll give each one 1 minute. At that
Okay.
point, we'll
Yes.
give them sticky note, just 1 minute to give us feedback. So they'll be conscious of the time while they are talking to us. So that
Okay.
we can use that to control time.
Now, one of the thing that can be conflict here is, let's say if we are asking them for feedback as per our point 5, what if they answers something which we want to actually cover in our PedLab questions? Let's
Like,
say in our PedLab questions, we have 6 or 7 questions based on the strength, connectivity, and stuff. So if someone is answering something in our that fifth point section, then our question will dissect in our Padlet questions.
so,
So
like, I'm thinking like, why don't we keep that their sharing their experience in the last session and open discussion if we have time. So that,
perfect, makes sense to me.
Okay,
what do you
no
think,
problem.
guys?
Okay,
So
no
that,
problem.
like, our main activity is Padlet. Like,
Right.
they speak more. Like, we
Mhm.
don't know whether they'll speak more or less.
Mhm.
Like, they speak more, like, we don't get time for the Padlet and the suggestion activity. So,
Right.
Okay.
suggestion activity we can control a bit, like, we can give a 1 minute, but
Mhm.
while they're talking, we can't say in between, you please stop this, like, we have this
Right.
time.
Well, sorry, are we not supposed to like understand the current state before like going further into like the discussion? Like if you think about it, like is it strategy analysis? I don't know the name of the knowledge area. Like you have to understand the current state before you define the future state, right?
Future.
I believe that's a good point, Derek. But I
Yeah.
believe we are having user case manual, right? We are having our we already have our that thing which we have our goals and our purpose and objectives. So I believe a current state would have been analyzed prior to the
Prior
work.
to the workshop.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's why our stakeholders are customers. So that way we are trying to, as we asked to Lisa, that our questions will be more based on a user experience rather than going into any technical stuff. So that way we can surpass that. Again, who wants to volunteer for Padlet activity?
Gabriel, can you do, like, I can do the last one.
Yeah, that's fine. I can do that.
Yep.
I can do
So
that. I can do that. That's fine.
Okay.
I'll just make a note. Let's say we are starting up with Daryl.
And I think Derek
Our-
can just give a bit knowledge about the current situation scenario,
Right.
because of the current scenario we are conducting this workshop. So
Correct.
you can just say, like, there are like some issues going
He
on.
can mention the challenges which we have with connectivity and signal.
Mhm.
So that's
So
start.
what part in the agenda does that come in? Like does it come in the recognition?
Introduction. Is in
Introduction.
introduction. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's done by Derek. Our Kahoot is going to be done by me. Our Padlet is done by Jubrel, and our design thinking activity is done by NC. Okay, if I'm breaking down the time, our Derek portion should take 4 minutes. Kahoot should take 3 minutes. Padlet activity should take roughly between 8 to 9 minutes. And NC's activity should take again 3 minutes. So that way we are almost at 19 minutes. Again, we will keep an eye on the time side by side. Whoever is facilitator or an active engager, other 2 person can keep a note of that. So one person would be also taking documenting notes like our meeting minute notes. So most probably, let's say if Derek is starting and I am the next person to approach, then Jubrel or NC can do the thing. That way, third person in the priority list can take the position and hit that specific portion. So that should be allowing us with roughly maybe 1 or 2 minutes, or maybe not. But
And
just
we
in
need to
case if we are
close also, like we need to thank them. Like
correct,
there should be a closing note also.
so
We should
that
find
way,
time for that also.
And all. We need to be very conscious of time.
Yeah,
Very
exactly.
conscious of time. That is very important because I know she'll take us down or knock us off when it's 20 minutes. I'm sure she'll be timing it also. When it's
Yeah.
20 minutes, she just tell us to stop. So we
Mhm,
should be very conscious of time.
perfect.
Yeah.
So I will just refresh our meeting with Lisa. So we are allowed to switch the roles. So that's a heads up from her. We are allowed to use projector. Now, according to you guys, what should be a better idea to actually use the projector? Because if we are using it, we have to utilize the first 5 minutes to make a connectivity between our laptop and the projector. Again, if we are going with the projector, there is a little room where things might get overwhelmed, because sometimes we don't see the things we expect, right? So, and plus I am not that much user friendly with the technology. So if someone have done that previously and someone can lead us on that portion.
We can get there in 20 minutes before time. We'll set
Mhm.
it up. Setting up projector is not a big deal. Once we can get in, I'll set it up. We can
Perfect.
use anybody's system to get in. It's not a big deal. Yeah.
Perfect. So
Yeah.
that thing is done. Now I'll just make a quick list of who is bringing what. Starting with me, I'm bringing 4 water bottles. Along with that, I will bring my laptop plus one extra laptop, so that just in case if our participant, someone has any problem issue with their equipment, we can provide them. So that's from me. NC, what are you bringing?
Like I can bring chocolates and I can bring the sticky notes also if I have.
Okay.
Put the cookies for me and I'll get the cookies.
Who will be getting cookies?
I said I'll get the cookies. The cookies.
Okay. Jubril is going for cookies. And I will also bring $5 worth Tim Horton gift card.
And I'm having a doubt, like after giving that this activity, design thinking activity,
Mhm.
like if we have time only, we can just have a conversation about that, their suggestions, right?
Correct. Correct.
Like we are short of time, we won't be able to
Yeah.
have a talk
So
on that.
on our basic flow, let's say,
Keeping something.
let's
We
keep
need
that.
to, sorry, we need to be conscious of time. I'm saying it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See our meeting now, we spent almost 20 minutes in now. Because if we are not concise or try to, we just focus on what we're going to say, just focus on the meeting. We shouldn't talk outside the meeting.
Yeah.
If not, we'll spend 20, this just 20 minutes. It's 20 minutes, just like 5 minutes. So we should not talk more than like, we should just be very concise and very brief. And we should gather what we want to gather and we'll move forward. Because Lisa is going to stop us once it's 20 minutes.
Right. And
Yeah.
we don't want to be in that
Yeah.
thing. So,
So
our priorities are the 2 activities, mostly last 2 activities. So Kahoot activity can be done as quick as possible. Other than that, if we are done with the wrap up activity, we can summarize it in the shortest way possible, keeping the time in the mind, or we can keep an interactive session going if we see that we have more time. So that way, we can mold it to the situation.
That's fine.
All right. So that thing done. On Wednesday, we would have to meet in person to prepare for our workshop. Like in person would give us a better idea, like how would it actually look like, or if we are lacking if we are lacking something which can be worked on. So can you guys suggest a good time we can meet and do the activities prior to our actual workshop?
I meet on Wednesday morning. Is that fine?
Yeah, sure.
Wednesday morning. The class starts 3 p.m. So we can prepare everything, we'll bring everything, we'll be in school early on time. So we
Sure.
can Wednesday morning will be fantastic.
One, right?
What did you say?
Did you suggest a
At
time?
what time?
I said Wednesday morning.
Wednesday morning. Yeah, but can we come to a time so that we have everything fixed? We don't wait till the last minute.
Yeah, we'll see. So also suggest.
I will suggest 12 p.m.
So
Is 12 not too late? The stuff is starting 3 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
If you can, maybe 11.
11?
I think
11
11.
work
So
for
we
me.
can plan, we can like do like a role play between
Mhm.
ourselves, like educate ourselves, watch YouTube videos and all. to
Can
make
have
the
a
class
trial
proper.
session.
yeah,
Yeah.
Perfect.
You
So
practice.
11 a.m. Wednesday morning.
Mm.
And I will try to get us a room, a private room in Mohawk College. There is a facility where we can book it. If there's a availability for, we get maximum 1 or 2 hours. So I will try to book it as much as maximum possible and forward the information for that too. Okay, so that's pretty much for our
And
meeting part.
who's doing the closing remarks?
Closing remark can be done by you because you are leading the last activity, right?
Okay.
So
So that
just
way,
in closing remarks, you appreciate them for coming and all, and you thank them, and you ensure or you assure them that feedback will be sent to them
Yeah.
of all the gatherings we've done and all.
And Derek will be taking care of the like follow-up email, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
follow up.
that was the follow-up emails, yeah.
perfect.
Are we
Okay,
attaching
now
any feedback form with that in the
we
follow-up?
can attach it. We can use the thing which I mentioned for that Croatia form. We can,
Microsoft?
but for that feedback form, we can just simplify it in very short, like how was your experience for the workshop? Anything which you think we missed out and you want to add, or you want to suggest any more points which can bring more, which can put more light to our project? Maybe that way. But we can frame that thing on Wednesday in person.
That'll be nice.
So
Any other thing?
everyone's okay with that. Now let's go to the activities, or we can start working on the. So NC, do you got that survey? We got survey replies from one person, right?
Yeah, only one.
Should we go over it? Let's see what
Like
information.
we won't be having much time, and we didn't
I
get
mean, right now. Like just right
the
now.
one is like age is like between below 24, I guess, and it was using for educational purpose. And the one who joined like was using accessing from central library.
Do you have the name for the person, like who
No,
did
we
that?
can't. We won't get the name.
Okay, it's confidential.
Anonymous.
All right. Okay, that makes sense to me. So let's go into the activity again. Let's see if we want to design a new question or we want to make any changes. So should I share my screen?
Sure.
Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yeah.
So these were the questions. Let's say, let's try to see our perspective as well. Like, if we are being given this Padlet thing, what will be our answers? Let's say, please share your favorite spot in the library and what were the problems you faced. So we can take one question for each. Let's say, starting with Jubrel, like, what would you answer in the first question?
My favorite spot is the collaboration session.
Mhm.
What were the problems I faced? Limited connectivity, very small.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So, NC, what does a good Wi-Fi mean to you?
A seamless connectivity, like we don't need to just log in every then and now.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm working with something, I need to be working with any interruption.
Perfect. Derek, how often do you get timeout while using library Wi-Fi?
Maybe I get timed out maybe in an hour interval when I'm working on my system. So 1 hour each. I get season timer, so I have to connect to the Wi-Fi again.
Perfect. In scale of 1 to 5, this question I'm targeting to me. In scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the lowest, how would you rate the library Wi-Fi setting? I will say I have been using Terryberry library from a while. I would rate it to 4. Although it's a mini library than the other branches, so there are no more like no more public spaces. So they are concentrated in more micro level. That way, there is no
I
more
sent
technical
a chat
issues.
for everybody to see. You can
Okay.
continue with this. Just
Yeah.
check your chat. Yeah.
The questions look good, right? There's
Mhm.
no much edits required.
Yeah. I was just by the side noticing the time. Let's say if we saw here one person answering this, it took almost 1.5 minutes. If we are surfacing for answers from all the 4 people, that should meet our deadline for this activity. So I believe this should be also very well time bounded activity. Other than that, do you guys see any grammatical errors or any change in the question you would like to suggest?
Nothing as such.
No, I think we are good. We are good.
Okay. Do you want to go for the Kahoot or that can be kept for Wednesday?
It's
Can we
fine.
check our chat? Hansu just sent a message on the chat.
Yep. I'll just stop my screen from here.
Okay.
The me. Okay.
So I think we have covered every things which were in the agenda.
Yeah.
There is no much confusions for us. Like our next week meeting would be in person, Wednesday, 11 o'clock, right?
Yes.
Perfect.
And Vidhish will just send us a pop-up, like if we get a room.
Sure. I will make it today itself and
Okay.
wait for their reply. Most probably they reply right away, but if not, tomorrow for sure.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
just to wrap up, thank you so much, guys. Again, this is activity graded activity, but I personally, from my side, I see a thing which can grow me, something inside me, because I am from a different field. I am transitioning in a different career. These things are new for me. More on the grades perspective, I think this will definitely put few learnings into me, which I will be utilizing going forward. So again, thank you much. So thank you so much, guys, for giving
Thank
your
you.
time,
Thank you. Thank you.
and
Good
all the best. See you
day.
on Wednesday.
Yes. Thank you.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye guys.
Bye bye.